Last time we talked about exponents or powers, what they are, and how to use your calculator to input them. Today we'll talk more about some rules for how to work with exponents, and I will give you some more calculator hints as well. So rule number 1 should be a bit of a review. It says any number raised to the first power is that number. So here's the number here, 5. 5 to the power of 1 would just be 5. So for these notes, I'll give you a few examples so that you can add some to your own. Let's talk about 8 to the power of 1. Any number raised to the first power is that number, so it's just 8. Let's talk about what maybe 10 to the power of 1 would be. Any number raised to the power of 1 is just 10, so this is not that difficult, is it? 125 to the power of 1 would be 125. And let's just go even bigger, 33,000 and say 12 raised to the power of 1 would be 33,012. So that's just a rule that you have to memorize. Rule number 2 as well should be a review. Any number raised to the 0 power is 1. So here's my base number. It's being raised to the power of 0. And the answer is going to be 1. For instance, we could have 2 to the power of 0. That's a good example for you to write down. It's going to be 1. Let's try 9 to the power of 0. It's going to be 1. Let's go higher. 1,000 to the power of 0 is also going to be 1. And I'll go way up there with 9 million to the power of 0 is still going to be just 1. And this is a good chance for me to show you on the calculator. Let's try both of these. Let's try 8 to the power of 1. Remember we talked about this caret symbol last time? 8 to the power of 1, enter, and there it is. It gives you 8. Let's try 2 to the power of 0. You probably didn't try any to the power of 0 last time. 2, caret symbol, 0, enter, and there it is. Your calculator is pretty smart, and it's going to have the right answer for you, number 1. All right, rule number 3 might be a new one for you. To multiply numbers with the same base, just add the exponents. So let's just review then what the base is. That's a base, and that's a base. So 3 matches. This is the same base. So all we have to do is keep the 3 and add the exponents. 2 plus 4 becomes 6. So 3 squared times 3 to the power of 4 becomes 3 to the power of 6. And we can leave it there just to keep our notes shorter, but you could also input this into your calculator and then you would get the long number. All right, let's do a few examples here. What about 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 1? Well, the bases match. 2 and 2 are the same, so keep that. Now you would go 3 plus 1. What's your final answer? 2 to the power of 4. How about 6 to the power of 2 times 6 to the power of 5? Well, the bases match. That makes it a little easier for us. You keep the base as a 6, and then you're going to add the exponents. 2 plus 5 would be 6 to the power of 7. Now I'm going to show you one that has a multiplication written a little bit differently. If you'll remember back to Math 4, you know that multiplication can be shown in several ways. It can be shown with this little X symbol. It can also be shown with parentheses. Let's try 5 to the power of 3 times, say, 5 to the power of 4. These are the same. Here I have the multiplication symbol shown one way, and here I'm showing it with parentheses. So the bases are the same. Keep the 5. And add your exponents. 3 plus 4. I have 5 to the power of 7. Now let's use our calculator. There are a few interesting things to note when you're doing this. Let's go ahead and try, well, let's try 2 to the power of 3 first. First you put in 2, and remember you use the caret symbol, 3. If I put in a times here, I want to show you what happens. Times 2 caret 1. Look what it did there. Everything is in the exponent here. The 3 and the 2 and the 1. That's not the problem that I see here. So let me show you how to solve that. There's one little trick that you need to know. You can go ahead and start with the first part. 2 caret 3. Enter. Oops, I'm sorry. 2 caret 3. Now to get off of the exponent, you're going to just push this to go to the right. There. Now you can go times 2 caret 1. Now that looks better. Even though this is not an X, that also means times. It's a little star or asterisk. Enter. And the answer is 16. And 2 to the power of 4 would be 16. So we got that right. So you might want to rewind the video for a second just to make sure that you understand that after you put your exponent in, you need to use this little tab to the right here to get out of the exponent area. Now, for some of these harder rules, we're going to do a column over here called non-example. I think that's just helpful because sometimes students make some common mistakes. The most common mistake with rule number 3 would be like this. 3 to the power of 2 times 4 to the power of 4. The student might say, oh, I know what that is. 3 times 4 is 12. And I know I'm supposed to add my exponents. 2 plus 4. This would be 12 to the power of 6. And that is not the case. The bases don't match. So if you were to add this out, you would get 3 squared, and then you would get 9 times 4. Let's go ahead and try that. 4 to the power of 4, 256. And then multiply that by my 9, and I would get 2,304. So to do something like this, you can't take the shortcut because the bases are not the same. You'd have to do them each separately, like we just did. All right, rule number 4. To divide numbers with the same base, just subtract the exponents. So here I've got the same base, it's a 2. I've got my division problem. Last time I was adding the exponents, but with division, it's the opposite. We're just going to subtract them. 6 minus 3 is 3. Let's get some more examples here. How about 8 to the power of 7 divided by 8 to the power of 4? Well, the bases match, so I can leave the base. And with the division one, we get to subtract 7 minus 4. And my answer would be 8 to the power of 3. Let's try another one. How about 4 to the power of 3 divided by 4 to the power of 2? Well, the bases match, so I kept the base. 3 minus 2 equals 4 to the power of 1. And remember back to our other rule, anything to the power of 1 is just itself. Now, we talked about different ways to show multiplication. Another way to show division is to use a fraction bar. So let's look at it. 12 to the power of 4 divided by 12 to the power of 2. It's the same thing. The bases match. I'm going to subtract 4 minus 2 equals 12 to the power of 2. So let's look at our calculator again and show how to do this one. All right, let's show 8 to the power of 7 divided by 8 to the power of 4. 8 caret 7. Now remember, if I keep going now, it's going to leave everything up with the exponent. So use this right tab here to get off of the exponent section. There, now I can hit divided by 8 caret 4. And it gives me my answer, 512. And just as we did up above, let's choose a non-example. This is what you don't want to do. A lot of students will do something like this. 8 to the power of 4 divided by, say, 4 to the power of 2. And they'll say, oh, this is an easy one. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And 4 minus 2 would be 2. That is not the case. You cannot do 8 divided by 4 because those bases are not the same. They are not like bases.